Good morning and welcome back to When the Dust Settles. Today I want to talk about my visit to the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I, as a correctional officer, I was very interested in seeing how corrections has changed over time, and my visit to the Eastern State Penitentiary was a testimony to the fact that correction has greatly changed. But let me backtrack a little bit. I'm doing this episode as a beginning of discussing what of my own impression about corrections, and I will now begin to speak to people who are working correction or who currently work in correction to come to our studio to discuss about some of the challenges, some of the successes they see in the work. So my visit to Eastern State Penitentiary was to see how corrections has changed. Prison has changed so drastically, and I've seen that even the billings, the treatment, and all those kind of things have changed over time. Eastern State Penitentiary was not built for rehabilitation, which of course is the focus of today's correctional institutions around the country. You know, we can make all the arguments about how many persons are incarcerated in the United States. We can make all the arguments about people are being mistreated and what have you. You know, they are being, imprisoned, incarcerated, or sent to jail for whatsoever reason. As a correctional officer, that is not your focus. That is not your place as to why people go to jail. So sometimes the guys, the inmates, sometimes, come to me and say, "Oh, Sergeant, come with this guy. He did X, Y, Z. That's why he here. He molested somebody. He ripped somebody and all that kind of thing." I said to them, "Look, let me tell you one thing. The reason we are here as correctional officers to make sure that everybody here is safe and they go back home after serving the term, whether it's 2 days, 1 month, 5 weeks, whatever time you're supposed to stay. Our role as correctional officers is to keep you safe. We don't go looking for what the person did and we got to treat you guys differently. Our role is to keep you safe." But that's just the thing. When I came from Liberia in West Africa, I didn't come to the United States to become a correctional officer. All my dream was to continue to become a lawyer. I wanted to be a lawyer. I went to law school in my country, stayed 1 year. And then when I came to the United States in 2008, I took the LSAT twice. I wanted to go to Temple University Law School. I took the SAT two times and I didn't pass. So I did something else. That was my master, and I wanted to stay being law enforcement. I wanted to do something where I could help people change their lives. And so one day my wife said, "Look, why you can apply to be a correctional officer?" I said, "I don't think I give it a single thought." So I took the test, and I think the first time I took the test, I didn't pass the test, and then I took the test the second time and passed the test. So 7 years after I'm here as a correctional officer, my visit to the Eastern State Penitentiary, I've seen that correction has changed. It has changed in a big way where, you don't just have people in the cells for whatsoever time, 24 hours a day and what have you. I'm not saying that some people who, do something, they are not, placed in isolation, stuff like that. But I'm saying that the main focus of correction today is to make people very, very different when they go back home so that they become productive members of society. Rehabilitation is the major focus of inmates today. So when I came from Liberia, as I was saying, I didn't intend to be a correctional officer. I wanted to be a lawyer, took the LSAT, but didn't pass, and then took different stuff. Now, with all those thing didn't work for me. I became a correctional officer. And 7 years after, I'm here. When I went to the Eastern State Penitentiary and I saw the walls and I saw this how the place is structured, I know we changed. Correction has changed in a big way, but I still see that things are not really gone that different. But in terms of treatment of inmates, it has changed. One of the things that has changed in a big way is how inmates are treated. Some people that started before me, because today inmates can use or can get on the tablet to make calls to the parents and family, the loved ones. When I first started, that wasn't there. And people that started before me and in correction told me, some of the changes that happened, things never used to be like this. You didn't have cameras in the institution. They didn't have access to TVs. Now they have TVs. But when I look at it from my own perspective, my own vantage point, it's easier to manage these inmates. Manage, sometimes you work with 60 guys, depending on where you work. Sometimes you work with 40 guys. Sometimes you rove, it depends on what you do. But working with the inmates on a day-to-day basis, and they are able to watch TV, sit down and watch TV, sit down and be able to get on the tablet. Basically, those tablets are for educational purposes. So let me just make this clear for where I work. I don't know how it is at other people's institution, but every institution is different. But our institution, where I work, I'm not going to say the name. The tablets are used for educational purposes, but they can make phone calls to the families, to the loved ones. They can listen to music and the thing. Something that get these inmates occupied. Make the inmate occupied. So these are some of the changes. Inmates have the opportunity to learn to earn the GED. Inmates who are behaving well have the opportunity to get into work. Get work, not work something they can do. Work in the kitchen, be on the e-crew, and do some other things to keep them occupied until they are completed the whatsoever time they're supposed to stay. Whether it's 4 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months. And depending on their behavior, they can work. So prison is basically to change the image, to make them different than the way they were before they came in. As I said, prison is to rehabilitate inmates. It's not for punishment. And that's why those inmates, when they come to me and tell me that, you see the guy over there, he did X, Y, or Z. I'm like, look, I understand, your frustration with this guy, but my role here as your supervisor, as your, to facilitate your activities while you are here, I'm not here to know what you guys are here for. That's not what the government puts me here for. The government puts me here to ensure your safety, your security, and make sure you are not hurt by anybody else, and that you go back home after serving your time a better person than the way you came in here. So that is not our focus. That is not our focus to see what people are there or for us to restrict or mistreat them. Even everything we do, right? Everything we do, oftentimes correctional officers are only make headlines when things go wrong. Only make headlines when things go wrong. When something goes wrong, when there's violence erupts, but nobody talk about what COs do, who show up day in, day out, and showing the safety, security, and even the hope of this image. These are not the things people talk about. But everything people talk about is the negative things. Even if you tell somebody that you work as a correctional officer, especially at a level 5 facility. People say, "Oh, God bless your soul." Yes, I'm not saying to you that this is an easy job. But which job is easy? I agree, it's risky. Working in the correctional institution is a risky job. We always say that in correction, quiet is good. But we equally so, we always want ourselves, don't say quiet, because things can come from being so quiet to be so disruptive in a matter of sinking. But these are few and far in between. These are not things that happen on a daily basis. That is why, as a correctional officer, you have to be able to know, to study people. You have to study the inmates. You got to know how to handle issues. You have to know how to diffuse, how to de-escalate situations. Because if you don't do that, it's going to be difficult for you to manage inmates. Some inmates are difficult. Don't get me wrong. Some inmates are very, very difficult to manage. But the bulk of the inmates want to serve the time, stay there 2 or 3 months, 1 year, 6 weeks, whatsoever time they're supposed to stay, they want to spend that time, and then just go home to the family and restart their life. It's stressful. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's stressful. But it's not what people make it to be. It's not what people make it to be, Working inside an institution, inside prison, walls makes communities safer outside them. And that's truth, because when people go to jail, they are all thinking about how they can go out and become better people. And I remember a few days ago, before the inmates came out for rec, I made a short speech to the inmates, and told them, I said, look, as you guys are coming for rec, try to think about something. Excuse me. Try to think about something that you can do to make you a better person when you go out there. Don't want to go back out there the same way you came in here. Surprise your friends. Surprise your loved ones. Go back and be a different person. Think about why you're here and make the difference in your own life. Not for us as correctional officers, not for us as prison staff, but for you as an individual, for you and your family. Do you want to go back out there and do the same things that you've been doing when you came back in? Do you want to go back out there and hurt people the way you were? And after I made that speech to those guys, I thought about it, I said, look, there's a correctional institution, and I gotta do my part in talking to them, as I always do. Talk to the inmates. How is the day? How you been? How was your night? Oh, I'm tired. Sometimes I joke with them. I say, oh, tired from doing what? Tired from doing nothing? And we all laugh about it. Some days are very good, but some days are hectic. Some days you're dealing with some guys who just get under your skin. You have to be able to make sure that you're able to manage stress. That's why, as a correctional officer, you got to take care of yourself. You got to exercise. You got to eat right. You got to be able to manage stress. You got to be able to de-escalate situation. Because most of the time, you are dealing with people who want things their way. Most of the time, you are dealing with guys who are master manipulators, who want things to go the way they want things to go. So you have to be alert. Both physically and mentally, you got to be alert to the kind of skills you guys have to want to manipulate you. But the huge, amount of them are thinking about what to go. That's why sometimes I ask them. I say, they say, "Oh, Sergeant Conway, I'll be going home in the next 2 weeks or in the next 90 days, and I'll be going home." One of the questions I ask them, what are your plans? What are you going to do? What are you going to do when you get back home? And trust me, if you work in the correctional institution, inmates are guys who are very eloquent when it comes to explaining the plans to you. Oh, I'm going to do X, I'm going to do Y, I'm going to do Z, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm saying, well, that's a very good plan. That's a very good plan, but one thing I want to encourage you to do is to stay out of trouble, Try to stay out of trouble. Because you can have all those elaborate plans, but if you should make the same mistakes you made, you're going to be right back in here. So I always talk to them, look, as you're going home, try to be a better person. But I also started to tell them that, look, don't wait to go home to make changes in your life. Don't wait to go home. If you wake up every day, right, starting from now, start being a different person than what you were when you came in here. Try to see why you came in here and how you can be different. Start from today. Don't wait to get out there. Make the changes you need to make so that when you get out there, it's going to be easier for you to transition smoothly back in the community. Take advantage of the programs they have in here. If there is something that has to do with education, take advantage of it. If there's anything that has to do with anger management class, sign up for it. If there's something you want to, get in the work, to work, try to improve your behavior so that you can be given the opportunity to go on the workers' path. So I try to give them the little pieces of advice that I think can help them in the long run to be the kind of a person they want to be when they get out there. I'm always telling them, don't say you want to do this when you get out there. Try to do it while you are here. Then when you get out there, it's going to be easier for you to get back in your society as a changed person. Folks, you are watching When the Dust Settles. My name is Speaker Conway, and today I'm talking about my visit to the Eastern State Penitentiary, one of the first penitentiary that was built in the United States. It's in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And as a correctional officer, I was just reflecting on my own, while walking through the walls, I was reflecting on my own experience as a correctional officer, how prisons have changed, how things are so different than they were years back. There are many people who criticize, like I already alluded to, having tablets, having TVs in the institution. Inmates are able to get TVs. But those tablets that are in some of these institutions are for educational purposes. Let me make that point clear. Are for educational purposes. It is not just there for them to make calls to their families. And let me backtrack a little bit, because since I'm an active correctional officer, I don't want somebody to say you said this, and which of course is is not the way. The video calls that the inmates made started because of COVID, and when COVID started, the in-person visits were canceled. So inmates were given the correctional institution around, most correctional institutions around the country, started using video visits so that they could set up visit with the video with their loved ones and other people, so they can be able to be in touch. We said it already, be in touch, be in contact with their family and friends that bond, creating, establishing that bond between them and the family. Then the families give inmates opportunity to be, to be able to reintegrate in the community smoothly when they get out. So those things, like most other things, other organizations, businesses out there, correctional institutions, to utilize video visit so that people can still be connected with the families. But here's the advice I have for people out there, right? Most of us have never gone to visit inmates, as a visit a correctional institution. We have never, visited inmates. Try to visit the prison. Try to visit your loved ones. Try to visit your friends. And also, when you have people in prison, talk to them. Tell them, look, I know you are in prison. Make sure you follow the rules. Because everything we do over there as state employees is by policy. We don't do anything, inmates, lacking at a certain time. We don't do it because we want to do it. We do it because the government set these policies, these procedures that we have to follow. Talk to your brother, your sister, your friend, if he's in jail, if he's incarcerated, and maybe tell him to read his handbook, because there's inmates handbook. And when my wife and myself went to the Eastern State Penitentiary, there are some things, and I bought one of the handbooks, the inmate handbook, and compare it with our handbook. And I see there have been some changes, but the overall, foundation of this handbook, the rules, almost stay the same. So talk to your guys, follow the rules. And there are procedures in jail, in prison, where I work. I don't know where you work, how it is over there, but where I work, there are procedures in jail. So we as correctional officers, as people wrongly believe, we as correctional officers, we don't just do things that we want to do. We follow the procedure. And when we do something wrong, the inmates have the grievance process. So when that sergeant comes with us something wrong, the inmates have the opportunity to tell my supervisors that, look, on so and so day, Sergeant Cameron went in my room, he took my commissary, and Sergeant Cameron went and he made me close my door, or Sergeant Cameron did whatsoever the officer did. The inmate felt was not within policy. The inmates have the procedure, they have the what to do, the grievance process to grieve what the officer did to them. So we don't just do things. We do things within policy. And where I work, you have the lead worker will have to come around, the guy who supervises the officers on the bar. Then you have the lieutenant will come around to come around and talk, do his rounds and talk to inmates. So inmates have the opportunity to talk directly to the supervisor about what the officers did, or some of the things they want changes to. They can tell the supervisor and say, oh, we want this is broken, and my light is broken. They put in a work order, and it has not been fixed. My lights are off. They put in a work order. Any issues they have, because first of all, the officers are doing the level best to make sure that issues on the part are resolved. So when the officer does that, and the lead worker comes around, the inmates have the time to talk to the lead worker, and tell the lead worker that, look, my sink is broke, or I ordered my commissary, it's been 2 weeks after I have not gotten it. I put in a sick call, and since I put in a sick call for XYZ reason, the sick call have not called me. So whatsoever problems they have channels and procedures to, grieve it if at all they don't get, the outcome that they were expecting to get. So there are procedures there. So we as officers, we are bound with policies to follow whatsoever we need to do. We don't just do things. You don't hit on inmates. You don't raise your voice on inmates. You don't curse at the inmates. So those things that even like in schools, what we do to the students, respect them the way they need to be respected. These are the same behavior that are exhibited in prison or where I work. I don't know where other people work. Every institution is different, but the basic and the fundamental things that correctional officers have to follow is to treat the inmate with respect and ensure their safety and security. Folks, my name is Pico Conway, and you are watching When the Dust Settles on YouTube. The Dust Settles on YouTube is a community-based YouTube channel. We come to you every Thursday and Fridays. And today we're starting a new series where we're going to be discussing about corrections and jail. So when you have a friend, a brother, a sister who have gone to prison, and you think they can come and talk to her and share their experience, not to attack anybody inside or outside of prison, their own experience, and what are some of the things they think need to be changed, and what are some of the things they think we did right when we were in jail. All of these things we're going to be talking about here. So this is the beginning of the series, and I just use the opportunity this time to talk about things that I saw when I went to the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, one of the first penitentiary that was built in this country, and how prisons, jail or prison has changed and over time. So folks, if you have anything that you think we need to discuss, in regards to correction, let me know, and we can talk about it. But my advice to everybody, or most people out there, is that if your loved one is in jail, try to visit them. I know that people are in jail because they did something wrong, but we cannot just leave these people on their own. These people will still serve the time. Some of them will serve the time and will come home. And we want to make sure that when they come back home, they come back home as better members of our society. And for that to happen, we have to, as a community, churches, community members, non-governmental organizations, and other people, we have to do our best to try to rehabilitate these people. We should not only want to get involved or talk about prison when things go wrong. That's not what we should try to do. We should all try to work harder to make our community safer by being involved in what these inmates are doing. Punishment is not the ultimate goal of jail. It's not the ultimate goal of correctional institutions. Rehabilitation is the main goal of correctional institutions, to make people better than they were when they went to jail or prison. So folks, when you have your brother, your sister, your friend in jail, try to visit them. I know some of them did some things that it's very difficult to forgive them. But whatsoever the case is, these guys will come home, or some of them will come home. And it is our binding responsibility as a community to help them reintegrate this community. So folks, until next time, my name is Pico Conway. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're not already subscribed. And also don't forget to reach out to us if you know anybody who you think can discuss with us their own experience about when they were in jail or prison, and what helped them to stay outside jail. With all the things we are doing, I know there are people who continue to go in and out of jail, and the reason for which that happened, we'll discuss that later. But there are some people that continue to go in and out of jail. So whatsoever the case is, we should try to make sure we can help these guys stay outside of jail so they can be productive members of our society. Folks, until next time, my name is Pico Conway, and you are watching When the Dust Settles. I will talk to you when I talk to you. Have a great day, and bye for now.